नमस्ते दोस्तों, वेलकम टू संवाद, एक खास मंच जहां हम बातें करते हैं दिल से। आई एम अर्पिता त्रिपाठी, योर होस्ट फॉर today's episode of Sanvad. Today we have a remarkable personality, a TEDx speaker and an inspiring voice, Miss Akansha Jain. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I would love to know, how did your journey as an IFS officer actually started? Like, what made you think that yes, this is something I truly want to do?
I was an engineer. So all the toppers at that time from small towns had two choices: either they join engineering or medical. So me being from such a small place and a topper, I chose to be an engineer, and then I got into campus placement. But just then, the day on which I got the job, I realized that this is not my inner calling. This is not where I belong. I am meant for something much greater and a deeper and larger impact. And also, I understood that my potential lies far beyond it. It won't be justified here. And hence, I chose to dive into this realm of UPSC. So I wanted to bring some change in the society. I wanted to bring a better present, a better future, and a better Bharat.
That's truly inspiring, ma'am. You work right where people, animal, and real challenges meet. So, what's one incident from your field that you remember that stayed with you? Something that tested you both as a human being and as an officer?
When I was training in Lakhimpur Kheri, it is Tarai region, Dudhwa National Park buffer zone is there, and a lot of wildlife conflicts are there. So there was an incident of death by tiger, wildlife conflict, and it was some time ago. And when I visited the village, I saw the people, and rarely do officers visit to these two places like this because they are distant, remote, and the ladies were holding my hand and calling me, ki, see, here is the pug mark of the tiger, see here. And I could see that respiration in their eyes, their way of talking and everything, and how they were coexisting with tiger. So at that time, I was feeling a little helpless that I wanted to do a lot, but somehow we are not magicians. So there are reasons for such conflicts. The villages are just beyond the borders of the forest, and they grow sugarcane, and the tigers are not able to differentiate between a sugarcane and a tree and a forest. So they, because they have a black and white sight, so they consider themselves as their own habitat. And when people go out there for harvesting, they tend to go down and sit on four-legged, and tiger consider them as prey. So this is the tiger side of it, and this is where I felt a little helpless that I wish I could do more. Although we had three rescue operations where the conflicted animals, we captured them and relocated them to the core area of tiger reserve. So we did what we could on our part, but still I think something is what I felt could be done more. We are still figuring that out.
Ma'am, earlier today in your speech, you mentioned that people are not just statistics, they are stories. And you yourself work closely with the tribal communities and forest family. So, what's their story? What have they taught you about living with nature, something that we city people often forget?
So I have worked with Tharu tribes, and so what I saw in them, that when I talked to them, they were living just inside the forest, and the way of life was. I felt like I'm 100 years behind. I'll tell you a funny parallel to that. There is this movie called Fantoshan that they go to the ages of. Uh, Raja Maharajas, where there was no telephone, etc. I felt you would think that this is an overstatement, but no, dear. When I went there, because this is a very remote area, when I went there and I actually talked to people, they didn't even know which year it was. Some of them didn't even have Aadhaar cards. So uh, I realized that we are far behind in a lot of places. India is not uniform. A lot of challenges we have, and at the same time, I saw that they are happy. Although they were sending, there was a change. I saw a man who was proudly saying that I send my daughters to the school. They walk like 1 hour to from the forest to the nearest city and send them to school. So the change was coming, but the people were happy in the fields. I talked to them about the leopard and tigers that were around, and they said, yes, we keep seeing them. We sit in machans here, and there was no conflict there. So they have learned to coexist. So I think coexistence is the key. We need to befriend the nature.
I'm sure we'll remember that, ma'am. As we wrap up, I would love to know your thoughts, like on the Indian forests. Like, what are your thoughts on what future do you see for the Indian forests?
Indian forest is a very promising venture. Even in the National Forest Policy, we, as a government, envisage to have 33% forest cover in the country. So right now it's around 24%, and our uh, consistent consistent efforts to preserve and protect forests are on. Even in Uttar Pradesh, where I'm posted right now, the Honorable CM Sir has this huge, humongous target of plantations. Last year, there was 37 crore plantations in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And so the future is promising, but I would not forget to mention, not without the participation of public. So I just don't do plantations from our department. I or we as a department, we involve people, we interact with them, because it's not just that we plant and we forget. We have to connect with them, we have to love the nature so that it can grow. Because you plant a tree, it's not the tree that will serve you, it will serve some other generation, some other people. So you need to have that selflessness. And when you have that, the prakriti, the nature will reciprocate in that way. So yes, with a greater awareness, with climate change being the vocal issue right now, especially among the newer generation, I find it is a promising area, and with also government supporting it.
Ma'am, what guidance would you love to give to the young people who hope to contribute in the conservation, and also they aspire to be an IFS officer maybe in future and want to, bring some change in our India as a country?
So I would say to them that you do not need to bring a huge change to bring a change. For example, a flame of light is enough to light an entire dark room. So I would want you, anybody who's listening to this, to become that flame, and to aspire to be a little, to light your corner of the world. And whenever you find darkness, I would just say that रात लंबी सही फिर भी ये एक रात है, सुबह हो जाएगी 100 बातों की बात है. So light will find your way.
Thank you, ma'am. It was wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much.
धन्यवाद व्यूअर्स हमारे साथ बने रहने के लिए. मिलते हैं अगले एपिसोड में एक नए टॉपिक के साथ. तब तक के लिए जय हिंद.